YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Justice coming at y'all with another quick read, another quick energy read off the top. I appreciate your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. But a lot of you guys, whoever this message is for, take what resonates, please leave the rest behind. Remember that always. Whoever this message is for, a lot of citywide cults know exactly who you are because you're a lot more clever than they anticipated. There's something about your energy, right? A lot of you guys know how to move through loopholes. A lot of you guys know how to move out of organized, entrapments, if that makes sense, right? Let's go and get started. Angels and ancestors of the highest and white light, please bestow upon me clear and concise channel messages for my collective needs to hear today. Thank you, and Ashe. A lot of you guys are very understanding of the system, understanding of the game, because you've... talking to each other. A lot of you guys are understanding of the game and the system because you've been operated, or attempted to be operated on by somebody within that system, whether that's somebody close to you, somebody in the system, or somebody in the industry, somebody in a familial dynamic, somebody in a workplace dynamic, friend group, associate, anything, right? A lot of you guys have dealt with different chains of events from different kind of spiritual happenings, different, kind of paranormal activities on a spiritual level that you've either made it out of. A lot of you guys have made it through bindings, out of bindings, certain entrapment spells, whether it's just energy harvesting, rings, things like that. Generalizations, I'm just channeling. But I'm not being specified to go into specifics and things like that. Let go of projections, they're only illusions. Let go of others' projections, they're only illusions, pity parties. So there's something about a lot of people, a lot of people that this message is for, people have attempted or at one point attempted to come for you in certain ways. But if you understand the rules of engagement, that's why people come at you spiritually. It's exactly the reason why the people come at you spiritually. But even then, why I'm getting this pity parties card is, a lot of you guys have built a certain reputation with these certain kind of groupings and secret societies because of how you either can't be caught in their traps or their webs or their harvesting systems, or they can't get the same beneficiary gains that they get from other people without it being penalized. And so through that penalty, there's a lot of learning and there's a lot of discovery that, a lot of you guys have experienced, certain beings like that take a very high liking to you and a very high high attention to you, pay a lot of attention to you out of intrigue or out of some type of, maybe even some of them come to admiration of you, right? Or even some of them come to understanding of you, right? Or want to, or that's the yearning from a place of those standards or from those deep places within. A lot of you guys have built a reputation with certain groups that you don't even see or know about. You don't even know by name. You don't even know anything about. But they know about you because of these reasons, right? All the envious proof of God's glory over your life, it's time to say thank you. So a lot of you guys are very blessed, right? A lot of you guys are naturally very affluent in your energy. And I'm speaking spiritually. A lot of you guys may be very financially well off, right? There's something about being well off on an energetic scale in terms of resources that you can either reach out to or you emanate from yourself. And so there's something that a lot of you guys, it's untapped or unbeknownst to you to the fullest extent that you understand or have tapped into fully, right? Because I'm on the same trajectory myself. But a lot of you guys have been orchestrated, saying all that to say there's a certain envy that has orchestrated certain things or behaviors or experimentations that people have tried over you that they may have gotten away with other people. I've said this many times before. A lot of you guys are going through situations or have gone or gotten past situations that were meant to keep you stuck somewhere, right? Because the whole point is for, especially binding. I'm supposed to get into certain elements and key elements, so somebody's supposed to associate them intuitively. That's kind of how I'm channeling it. You overcame the humiliation ritual, so that's one of them too. Through binding you to experiences of trauma or to experiences of embarrassment or to experiences of degradation is a very key element of this whole process, so you can create a void space that somebody can fit themselves into intuitively, energetically, to occupy themselves into, or an entity itself can occupy itself into to drain energy, to harvest energy, to pull from it, to have access to it. And so that access point comes and derives through these karmic versions of ourselves, or these karmic entitlement, or in these basically these open doors that trauma usually opens on us. But this is all spiritual. So if you're still following me here, there's basically like gateways that people have tried to open doors on you in the spirit, whether that's monitoring spirits, whether that's binding spells, whether it's a multitude of different types of spell castings and entity castings that people try to summon onto you. This is why you've gained a reputation with certain cults and certain citywide cults, worldwide cults, you know, because the citywides are just smaller statures. It's a whole hierarchy on a bigger scale everywhere. That's a message for somebody. So your voice is very therapeutic. So there's something about whoever I'm speaking to. A lot of you guys have, I'm speaking to a singer specifically. That's one or few. I want you to drop down in the comments though. But a lot of you guys have certain gifts or certain truths or certain ways that you express that is also maybe very elegant, or maybe the way you communicate, or maybe the way your soul communicates through this realm is very elegant. And there's something that may catch the attention of these type of beings for this reason. A lot of you guys may peak on a vibrational level, on a high vibration, so it peaks past this firmament point that others are looking to tap into. And that may be a zoom out message for somebody specifically to understand what I'm saying. There's a certain firmament point, and if you're reaching on a higher vibration and people are supposed to be co-simulated to this certain range of vibrations, and you're vibrating on a different one, you're going to catch the attention of somebody that's looking out for that type of attention spiritually. And so that's a message for somebody. A lot of you guys attract certain attentions that you have superstitions about that I could be confirming with certain alignments in this message. Remember to take what resonates and leave the rest. Everything else could be informational for somebody as well. That's also a purpose. This is for the ambition and Five of Swords energy, for a certain win at all costs energy that maybe that's a dynamic that can form as well. You know, when they can't crack it, right? In terms of like the code. So a lot of you guys have dealt with occult members that have an ego, a spiritual ego. So when they can't get past or trump past a certain obstacle that they find themselves in with you, that they may have formed to begin with you, there's like an occupation of having to continue it, or continue to try, or continue to end it, continue to try harder. A lot of you guys have dealt with certain temperamental things from people closest to you, but on a spiritual level, right? Not in the physical, on a spiritual level, because you have this starlight energy. So a lot of people try to occupy your energy space as well. A lot of people try to emanate from your energy. That's also an occult theme. That twin energy, you know, people try to twin your energy, mirror your energy. They try to mimic your energy, right? To become your energy and then off you for it. That's what they do in the rap industry. That's a message for somebody, not just rap. Gossip behind the scenes. It's also another form of spell work. When people consistently get a theme of certain degradation values, a lot of you guys have been lied on, a lot of you guys have been gossiped about, a lot of you guys have gone through certain humiliation rituals and trials based off of certain misinformation being purposely spread, right? On a propaganda level, on a narrative level. So these are also themes that, you know, this is more unconscious, but this can be a parallel theme into what I'm about to get into. So that could be more unconscious. That's not an occult theme, but you're the hot topic. So there's something about attention. There's something about energy that can derive off of somebody. Like a lot of you guys may have an energy velocity that you don't enact from or emanate from the way that somebody would like to do it with your energy, if that's making sense. That's a confirmation on you dealing with envy in your life. Somebody that wants what you have, or something that wants something off your skin, something that somebody wants your voice, somebody wants this, wants that, wants this from your life, wants this aspect of your life, you know, but they want to do something different with it. They just want what you have, right? It's envy, it's coveting. And so a lot of you guys may deal with these things from real occult type of industries or velocities or that way of life. You may have been dealing with this since you were young, right? A lot of you guys may have been dealing with this since you dealt with a certain person. You may have been dealing with this ever since you got to a certain point in your life. You may have been dealing with this since you hit this industry, or you met this industry, or you met this person, right? And so there's a certain level of energetic protection that a lot of you guys have learned through this processing through dealing with these things, because a lot of these things have taught you more about your energy, right? When you're dealing with attacks or certain things on a spiritual level, it makes you kind of go inward on a spiritual level in terms of understanding what the fuck is wrong, right? What the fuck is going on, right? And so a lot of you guys, if you're following me, have dealt with these themes where you had to find your own solution, or you had to reach out for guidance in terms of spiritually. And that's not going to be in the physical embodiment. Shout out to you, and God bless you if you have somebody, you know, directly in your life that gives you spiritual wisdom, spiritual guidance, right? That's not usually a common theme in this day and age. It's becoming one, right? And so a lot of you guys fit that theme in terms of, you know, being that beacon for somebody else to not go through what you went through, or being that beacon for somebody not to get put in the same sacrificial kind of dispositions that you've been attempted to be put into, or certain dynamics that you can foresee ahead before, when you had a more naive set of eyes, right? That somebody else's set of eyes may be still naive and pure to not see, right? A lot of you guys are offering those proportional kind of understandings back to other people, or you will in the future. So this is a message like for somebody. A lot of you guys have gained a reputation, a certain reputation for like, this person is not to be fucked with, you know, kind of energy. New levels, new devils. A lot of you guys have ascended past many different oppositions, resistances in your life that people may be dumbfounded by. People may be surprised by. Like, how did she get through this? How did he get through this? How is he still moving? How is she still operating on this level? Didn't they give up? Didn't they, you know, things like that. You know, when you're dealing with that level of envy and jealousy, you know you have a special energy about you. When you're dealing with that energy on an unprovoked level, you know it's something special about you. So it's something about the understanding of where that emanates from, and what emanates at the base, and what emanates at the origins, and it's something about coming home to self and emanating from that. And that's kind of what this kind of whole thing has taught me, myself, on a subjective level in this experience, to come home to myself on a soul level. Because, you know, the whole point is to derive aspects of yourself and split them away, fragmentate your soul, right? So now we can spread it across, and now you will be out here leeching, you'll be out here searching, while we're draining and pulling and pulling. You know, a lot of you guys have dealt with these dynamics, still may be dealing with these dynamics. And, you know, it's the understanding of the knowledge that's power. It's the understanding and the awareness that's power, because the reallocation of energy follows suit right after, you know. So open your mind to the highest outcomes that are already there. This is the next theme I'm going to get into in terms of staying on a higher vibrational plane. In regards to spiritual warfare, is really going to eat at you if you're staying in a hateful mindset. If you're staying in a, maybe not, rebellion is not bad, but a rebellious mindset in terms of going against yourself, going against your intuition, or going against your values, right? And I've learned this myself, right? And I'm continuously kind of learning this myself. And so that's a message for somebody. It's understanding the point in which, hold on. The point in which it's bringing you to, the consistencies and moving toward discipline, right? A lot of you guys learn discipline through this journey, because if you don't have discipline, a lot of you guys have, you know, there's certain sections of like those void spaces that people want to come through in terms of draining your energy that you can't allow, right? And so a lot of you guys have learned protection of your energy through just, you know, either staying in motion with your life experiences, staying busy, or, you know, working out a lot, making sure you're eating healthily, making sure you're taking care of yourself a little better, you're a little more conscious of it, but you may not be consciously aware of why you're so conscious of it. You know, a lot of you guys have been going through warfare. A lot of you guys go through spiritual warfare through just straight negativity, jealousy, things like that, or just, you know, grudges people hold over you. There's things like that. There's things like that come back and forth, but all that comes out of it is confliction and strife. And so to backpedal that to back to where I was saying originally, there's something about staying in a higher vibrational plane, because the importance of staying in that higher vibration is because you're so susceptible to being preyed on by lower entities and lower influences, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. You know, those type of emotions are very primordial. They're very heavy. And so that thick energy has to be moved. It has to be expressed. It has to be circled around, swirled around, enlightened. You know, it's about balance. And so that could be a message for somebody, especially if you're going through spiritual warfare at this time. It's still a message if you're going through this at this time. It's understanding mind over matter is the realest truth. You're understanding, like, you know, affirmations are everything as well. Not allowing somebody to construct your mind. That's the next thing I'm going to get into. In terms of the product of witchcraft, the goal, the aim is to assist in deriving illusions and delusions to your consciousness to throw you off in some way, shape, or form that is beneficiary to their will, right? And so the whole point is that void space, if there's nothing to kind of derive a void space through, and not allowing somebody to traumatize you or hurt you, or, you know, you have your boundaries up, right? Because that void space, people will try to hurt you, people will try to take you down, people will try to degrade you, people will try to lower your self-esteem, people will try to make you feel how they feel, right? And that's the void space that they can swamp off your energy from. It's a draining exercise. It's a vampiric exercise. And so that's the understanding of a mind over matter kind of philosophy in terms of understanding the value of somebody's words in regards to if you've experienced this person, if you've experienced that person spiritually and physically, and understanding the correspondence and the correlation, understanding the weight of somebody's words versus their actions or their character and things like that, right? And so especially in regards to occult figures like the ones I'm speaking of, when you can understand illusions and conflict spells and you can understand things like that, it is all just but an illusion. And so you can discount that, you can throw that out, you can kind of release that, right? And a lot of you guys deal with a lot of people or a lot of things or a lot of things that are trying to, or a lot of entities that are trying to grab at your peace, your sense of self, your sense of peace, your sense of direction. And so spiritual warfare in those directions, you have to really pray those things off of your life. And so that's what keeps you active with the Most High. That's what keeps you in active relation. It's not about just, you know, always praying either. You can just talk to the Most High. You know, sometimes it's about getting closer in connectivity to the Most High source and not looking at it as a genie in the bottle, right? And so that's what these kind of occult figures fear the most. You getting closer and closer to God when certain types of sources, and it's not occult figures, because there's certain occult figures that don't follow satanic ritualistic things. I will say that too. But certain cult figures that a lot of you guys are dealing with, a lot of the ones that are taking advantage on a commonality of a level, y'all know you know what I'm talking about. A lot of you guys are dealing with these figures. Those are the ones that are usually deriving energy from self-esteem, integration, and values like that, and conflict and fear-mongering. That's kind of the goal and the association. But if you understand what the commonality of your goal and your association with the Most High is, it's almost like nothing that stands between it can get in between it. Nothing that comes across you or resists you can really cause you fear or alarm if you're really that close to spirit and source. And I'm going to end it off with that one. A lot of you guys have a reputation of not to be fucked with because of these reasons and because of these principalities and understandings that you have either been gaining throughout your journey or have had from the jump, or you have gained recently. And so a lot of you guys are ascending to a level that maybe you're not able to be fucked with. Maybe you're not able to, you're not able to be kind of lowered the same way, humbled the same way, put in the same trajectories the same way, cyclings the same way, same bindings the same way. It just doesn't touch you the same way. And so that's the whole kind of theme of this point, right? To be more fluid with your own soul's patterns, your own soul's movements, right? So you can get closer in connectivity and alignment with source, right? And that's how I'm gonna end it, promise. But if you need a personal with me, hit up Shamika with a C and Shamika@gmail.com. Other than that, I've got a partnership with Otter Spirit. If you need any high vibration enhancing jewelry for 20% off of anything on the site. Also with Rose Forever New York, I've got a partnership for 20% off of any rose bouquets or anything like that. I've got a partnership with Amazon Web Services for 20% off of anything in regards to creative programming software tools. All the links will be in the description below. All your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes are so very appreciated. It's your boy Justice. I'm sending my love and ashe. Peace out.